I feel like one of the most cliched thoughts about pastors is that we always listen to worship music. Well, if that cliche is true, then I'm a little different than everyone else. The fact of the matter is, I don't like a lot of modern worship music. In many cases, it seems very cookie cutter and very shallow. It's the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again. And in a lot of instances, you don't know whether the author of the song is writing to his girlfriend or to Jesus. Now, I don't want to second guess these songwriters and say that their intentions are bad, but I just wish some of them would give a little more thought to what they say before they put it in a song and put it on a record. With that said, I'm always looking for new Christian music that can help me find that place of worship that's real. So today I want to give you my top 5 Christian artists that I have found that do a phenomenal job of communicating the love of Christ as well as playing some really amazing music. Number 5. Now if you're going to look up this band, you're going to have to start with Roman numerals. The name of the band is Page 116, but if you were going to look it up, it would be Page CXVI. I'm not really sure where this group comes from, but they released a series of EPs in the last year or two that were their take on a lot of classic hymns. And as a Baptist pastor, I love me some hymns. They put a very modern spin on a lot of classic hymns that many people can relate to. My favorite song by them, though, is an old Bible school favorite. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Yeah, down in my heart. Where down in my heart? The song is joy, but I guarantee you it's not like that at all. In fact, the first thing that will happen when you listen to the song is that you'll think it's the most depressing song you've ever heard in your life. But I think it communicates well exactly what the point of the song is. Even when life is at its absolute lowest, you can still experience joy through Christ Jesus. And they do a really good job of communicating that. Number 4. Now, a good friend of mine introduced me to a guy named Andrew Osinga. And you may have heard of Andrew Osinga before because he's played with groups like The Normals and Caedmon's Call. But now he does a lot of solo projects, and I haven't heard a bad one yet. Osinga is probably one of the best guitar players I have ever heard in my life. He's a bit of a storyteller that somehow manages to bring real life situations and relationship with Christ together. My favorite song by him is a song called Rest, and it has the best guitar introduction of any song I have ever heard in my life. I could listen to it for days. Number 3. Number 3 is a band out of North Carolina, I think, called My Epic. And for those of you who like hard rock, this is your band. I was first introduced to My Epic when I went to go see the band that will be number 1 on this list today. And I cannot begin to tell you how impressed I was. Not as much with their music, but with them as people. They have got to be some of the most genuine Christians I have ever met in my life. To me, they represent one of the best bands that effectively mixes music and ministry at the same time. Some of their music is pretty hardcore stuff and is not going to be liked by everybody, but the lyrics to their songs are so well thought out and carefully placed together. You can tell that these guys take a lot of time and put a lot of effort into honing their craft, and the result is absolutely wonderful. It's hard to pick a favorite song that I have by them because they're really all that good. But if I had to pick a favorite song, I would probably say it was Lazarus off of their newest album. Number 2. So this is a guy that I came across last year on noisetrade.com. He was giving away his album for free, and his name is Josh Garros. When I downloaded that free album and listened to it through for the first time, my musical life was changed. This guy is just simply amazing. He hits just about every musical genre that you could possibly think of on his album. From folky, bluesy type music to pop music to even rap music. And he does really good at every one of them. He is such a unique and real songwriter, and you feel like he has actually felt out every single lyric that he has put down. You do have to get used to the guy's voice. He has a very unique voice that takes some getting used to. But once you do, you'll thank me. He just recently put out a documentary called The Sea in Between, in which he comes together with a group called Mason Jar Music and plays on an island somewhere in Canada. And I cannot recommend enough that you should watch that documentary. Number 1, my absolute favorite Christian band of all time has got to be Cool Hand Luke. The unfortunate thing is Cool Hand Luke is no longer a band, but that's okay because Mark has a new project coming up called Polyvalent that I am highly anticipating. When I was getting very bored with a lot of Christian music, Cool Hand Luke was the first band that I came across that let me see what Christian music really was. It was music that was honest, that was real, and that admitted that the Christian life is not easy. That there are things that we struggle with and we fight with on a constant basis in our brains as we try to play out our faith day in and day out. I could listen to just about any Cool Hand Luke song and immediately think in my mind, I know exactly where the writer is coming from here. Cool Hand Luke is their music is sort of ambient, I guess would be the best way to say it. A lot of pianos, but at the same time it can also get very hard. And if you look at some of their earlier stuff, it's really hard. I have a really hard time picking out a favorite song. But I'll pick 2. Number 1 is The Balancing Act, and it's one of my favorite songs of all time, and I have the lyrics to it posted in my office. Number 2 is a song called His Eyes, and in its early stages, I think Mark called it the crucifixion song. And it's exactly what it states. It's a chronicle of the passion of Christ leading up to the point where he dies on the cross, and it touches every fiber and emotion in my body to remind me of what Christ has done for me on the cross. So these are my top 5. There are a whole host of other folks that I could recommend to you. In fact, here's some people that make the honorable mention list. All Sons and Daughters. Andrew Peterson, So Long Forgotten. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm actually going to go see Josh Garros play this weekend, so I'm excited about that. Have a wonderful day.